Good afternoon, America. We begin with a story that's dominating social media and political conversation this week. A striking moment that unfolded during a major sporting event, one that has become emblematic of a larger cultural and political divide. Former President Barack Obama made an appearance at the NBA All-Star Game in Los Angeles, and the crowd reaction was nothing short of extraordinary. Fans rose to their feet in a thunderous standing ovation when Obama appeared on the Jumbotron alongside his wife, Michelle. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump faces a starkly different reality. Critics point to moments in recent public appearances where applause was muted or hard to elicit, and Trump has reportedly avoided some high-profile events, like the Super Bowl, due to concern over negative reactions. Today, we take a deep dive into what these moments reveal, not just about politics, but about culture, celebrity, and how public figures are perceived in America's media-driven society. February 15th, 2026, the Intuit Dome played host to one of the NBA's most anticipated events of the year, the All-Star Game. Barack and Michelle Obama were in attendance. When cameras panned to the former president, the arena erupted. Standing ovations, cheers, and chants filled the dome for nearly a minute. Social media quickly amplified the moment. Clips of the ovation went viral, drawing millions of views within hours. Progressive outlets described the reaction as a cultural victory for Obama. Political analysts noted that such spontaneous enthusiasm is rare for a former president in a pop culture setting. While presidents often draw polite applause at formal events, the sheer energy of this crowd appeared almost celebratory rather than ceremonial. Some commentators framed the moment as a nightmare for Trump, suggesting that it highlights a growing cultural gap. The argument goes like this: Obama maintains strong appeal in Hollywood, professional sports, and music circles, while Trump's influence is strongest in political rallies and partisan gatherings. A recent Trump speech before military members provides a stark contrast. Cameras captured Trump pausing to solicit applause that came slowly, leading critics to suggest that he struggles to command spontaneous enthusiasm in diverse public spaces. Trump supporters argue that such analysis misses the point. They maintain that his popularity is strongest with core constituencies who aren't necessarily present in arenas like the Intuit Dome. They also note that viral moments often exaggerate the optics of crowd reactions. The applause at the All-Star Game wasn't just a fleeting moment. It's part of a larger narrative about how former President Obama continues to connect with the public. Just days later, he spoke at a civic engagement event addressing youth leaders, community organizers, and members of the public. Let's listen as he speaks directly, reflecting on culture, unity, and civic responsibility.
You know, one of the things I've always loved about sports, music, and culture is that they remind us we still share a lot more than what divides us. You can walk into an arena, sit next to someone who votes differently than you, believes differently than you, and for a few hours you're cheering for the same team, feeling the same joy or disappointment, and that matters, especially right now because our public life has gotten loud, it's gotten angry, and too often it's built around the idea that somebody has to lose for somebody else to win, that if you're not applauding the loudest voice in the room, you somehow don't belong. I don't believe that's who we are. I never have. Leadership isn't about chasing applause. It's not about who gets the biggest reaction or the most attention. It's about whether people feel seen, whether they feel respected, whether they believe their kids are going to have a fair shot in this country. When young people are watching, and they always are, they're learning from what we reward. They're learning whether kindness matters, whether honesty matters, whether listening still matters. So I hope we can keep choosing spaces that bring us together. I hope we remember that democracy isn't a performance, it's a responsibility. And that the real measure of our politics isn't the noise we make, but the progress we leave behind.
Responded with sustained applause, not for politics, but for tone. Supporters say this explains why Obama continues to resonate in cultural and civic spaces long after leaving office. Critics argue that this type of appeal reflects celebrity politics rather than policy influence. President Trump addressed the contrast in his own way, speaking to supporters at a recent public event. Paraphrasing his remarks, Trump dismissed media narratives about crowd reactions, insisting that real leadership is measured by results, not applause. He emphasized accomplishments in the economy, border security, and military initiatives, telling supporters that you can't judge a leader by viral clips. He also accused opponents and the legacy media of manufacturing moments to undermine him, framing the narrative as another example of culture war politics. Analysts note that Trump's strategy relies on controlled rallies and loyal audiences, contrasting with Obama's broad appeal across diverse cultural spaces. Experts say the contrast underscores a larger cultural divide. Sports, music, and entertainment often lean progressive, providing fertile ground for figures like Obama to maintain popularity. Trump's influence is strongest in ideologically aligned settings, where intensity and loyalty are high, but cross-cultural appeal is limited. Social media amplifies both narratives. Clips of Obama's ovation circulate alongside commentary framing Trump as struggling to maintain cultural relevance. This isn't just about optics. It's about how the public perceives leadership, charisma, and cultural connection in the digital age. Across platforms, reactions vary widely. Clips of Obama drew millions of views, with hashtags emphasizing unity, civility, and leadership. Trump supporters countered with clips highlighting policy successes and critical coverage of media bias. Memes, commentary, and viral threads amplified the debate, creating a 24/7 news cycle around what some call a pop culture battle between the two political figures. So what does this all mean for the future of American politics? Moments like these reveal how culture, social media, and public perception intersect. Supporters of Obama see enduring popularity and broad cultural appeal. Supporters of Trump argue the media narrative is biased and that true leadership is measured by results, not applause. One thing is clear. In 2026, the battle for influence isn't just in Congress, the White House, or the campaign trail. It's in arenas, stadiums, and screens across the country. We'll continue to track these cultural and political moments as they unfold. We want to hear from you, America. What do you think? Do moments like these shape how we view our leaders, or are they just fleeting media spectacles? Join the conversation on Pulse 47 News social media channels. Share your thoughts and tell us what leadership looks like to you today. Stay tuned to Pulse 47 News for continuing coverage and in-depth analysis of this story and more.